There we go.
Look at the Lord. Hey, what's good people? It's your boy CJ Randolph, and this is the Just a Messenger podcast. And once again, for the month of February, I just want to go ahead and promote and just show that us black fathers, we out here doing the thing, taking care of our kids, taking care of our families in whatever capacity that we can, and trying to change the narrative and the optics of what some of our media tells us ain't really all that true. So instead of having the negative, I want to promote the positive. So I've been able to be blessed with many people. This brother right here, we've done very tough life together, and the wisdom that I have learned from him has been a game changer in my life and the way that I've done things with my kids, my wife, and the people that I'm around. So want to introduce everybody to the messenger, Marcus Hunt.
Oh man, I appreciate that.
Yeah, so just jumping right into it, the question or the challenge was, what generational curses have you broken, or what things are you doing to change the narrative?
Okay, well, not so much that I'm breaking anything, more so just trying to expand. With my father being in his early 70s, it looked a little different when we were coming up.
Yeah.
There was no question about whether or not that he loved us or anything like that. He showed that he supported us in everything. I mean, he was there. You look over to the left, across the fence, there he is standing there with his, outfit on from the plant that he just got off of working. And
yeah.
So he was always there. But where I try to expand it a little bit further is that my father never communicated, I love you.
Oh, okay.
He showed you, there was no question, but he never communicated, I love you. And to a kid growing up, I never knew I needed to hear that, and I just thought that that's just kind of the way it was. I show you I love you by my actions.
Right.
And not necessarily verbalizing that. And so what I try to do with my kids, and I may go overboard with it, I tell them I love them for everything, just to,
yeah.
Reiterate that so that there's no question, especially with my daughter in high school now. I drive her to school every morning. Good Lord allows me to do that. And she gets in the truck, baby, I love you, how you doing? How did you sleep? And before she gets out, I love you, have a blessed day. So it's more so just trying to expand on what he started and take it that next level.
So there's two things there. The fact of love is an action, right? Mm-hmm. But you put how important that communication part is, right?
Yes.
I know I catch myself sometimes. My wife she's the one that usually says, I love you and stuff like that before I do. But she also knows and acknowledges that she knows that I do love her with my actions. And that's something that I've been trying to really be better at is tell her, not just the actions. Why don't you get the holistic aspect of it, right? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then also, what you're doing with your daughter, man, I feel sorry for any dude that wants to date her, because he's gonna have talk about changing the narrative right there. Yeah. You've set a very high bar on I guess what her expectations should be in someone that is pursuing her or courting her.
Oh yes. It's one thing, again, growing up, taking my experience of having female friends, and every summer, I know where you are. You're not going anywhere. Your parents are not taking you anywhere.
Right.
For whatever reason, whether that was, being able to afford it, so on. But, my daughter's been out of the country a few times. Going places, getting things, getting what she wants within reason. Right. I'm taking that off the table for any young man that wants to try to step to her. You're not about to impress her by, oh, let's go here, or let me buy you this, or let me take you out. We do daddy-daughter dates. So need to pick it up a little bit more. So things get a little busy, but I still need to do that with both of my daughters. But yeah, no, you're not going to impress her by the things that you have or that you're buying and all of that. No, daddy has that.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's like I said, setting that bar really high. And that's the beautiful thing of a father's love and the holistic thing of a father's love and a mother's love, that it was designed that way. It's different types of love, but you have a holistic aspect of love. And then that's what their view is, like how you treat your wife, right? And how you treat them. I'm not going to assume because I do know, but I know that what she's viewed, how you treat your wife, is what you're kind of in a way reciprocating to her. And that it's not a, it's a beautiful balance on, this is my wife, this is my daughter, but these are the things that I want you to learn in seeing what I do and in doing what I do, right?
Yes, that's it. And full picture. Like when, and then I'll come back to that, but like when we were trying to close on the house.
Oh yeah.
And we were going through the ups and downs of that. I did not hide that from my oldest.
Right.
The two younger ones, they're young, they're not understanding that.
Yeah.
But from her, I let her understand the frustration. I let her see me weak in those moments when, hey, one day is good, the next day is bad. It's like one step forward, two steps back.
Right.
And I will let her hear me pray, pray for those things. And so when God blessed us with that, she saw it as well.
Right.
And so in my interactions with my wife, my daughter, Dad, why you doing that? Why you kissing on mom? Why you hugging on mom? I said, why am I loving on mom? Well, if you say it that way, it's different. I said, well, that's what it is. When you see me open mom's door, when you see that I will be the last just to make sure that you guys are okay, that's just not something I want you to gloss over. That's something important. And, I know a lot of females, they tend to marry someone that's kind of similar, to what they saw growing up, whether that was, whatever father figure that was. So I just want to try to be the best example that I can be in that regard. And but yeah, I don't hide anything. I let her see it. I let her know what I'm praying for. And that has grown to the point where, Dad, I'm praying for this with you. So that's it's big.
That got me right there. That got, man. Yeah, so, I think as parents, you definitely want to display real reality, like real life, right? I know a lot of times as parents, we try to protect our kids from seeing the reality of adulting. But the truth is, we're trying to raise them to be adults. Yes. They need to see both sides. They also, I think when you were talking about going through the hard times, all I heard was faith, because the good times are coming. And so that's a risk that I know sometimes that I'm afraid to do. Like me and the wife's prayers are, we pray with the family, and then we have our own kind of prayers, and we have our own personal prayers, right? But it's those really tough things that we really struggling with that I don't necessarily share with the kids fully. Right. And it's the faith that I know he's going to do something crazy, right? But I tell them afterwards.
After the fact, yeah.
After the fact. And I think that right there, that was a message to me. It was like, kind of O ye little faith, like you have faith in me, but are you displaying that faith to others, especially that's in your house? Right? I can share that with the brothers in Bible study. Like you this right here is an act of faith, right? And y'all have known this for about 3 or 4 years, but that's good.
That's how it works. But too, again, growing up, looking back at my parents, for whatever reason, that generation does not like to share. you know, they could be going through things and, you know, health conditions or whatever, you know, whether it's finances or health or whatever it could be, they won't say anything. They will not say anything. And then when you find out, it's like, well, how long has this been going on?
Right.
And had you said something earlier, even if I couldn't physically do anything to change the situation, I could be praying.
Right.
And you took that from me just because you would not communicate.
Yeah.
And so right now my sister is the same way. She'll be going through things and she will internalize it until she can't handle it anymore. And then when the body shuts down or breaks down,
Right.
and then we find out what's going on and we're like, I was just talking with her. You know, we didn't
Right.
know this. We didn't hear about this. And so that's the thing. You know, there's a time and a place for everything. I don't think that I would say I go crazy with everything, you know,
Right.
sharing with the kids, but sure, you know, especially some things that we're praying for, things that we're looking forward to, things that we are hopeful to change. We pray as a family, you know. I think, man, it was probably a couple of years ago, and I believe you brought it up in men's group about praying with your wife.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. I can sit there and talk to her all day, listen to her all day, but that intimate time of prayer, oh man, that made it different, because it's like I was in my head. I wonder what she's thinking, what she's gonna say. That's over and done with now, man.
Right.
I mean, I'll pray in a minute. You know, it's just
Right.
that made me made me do a self-check, because I could not remember a time that, hey, I grabbed my wife's hand and we prayed, and that was crazy. So
Right.
all of that's changed now, man. So like I said, men's group is definitely great, because it makes me look, you know, that's a mirror looking at other men that, hey, I can't lie. I can't hide from that. You guys are the reflection. You're gonna hold me accountable. And when I go home, it's like, nah, they got me. You know, they got me.
Like, a little bit of conviction on that.
Yeah.
That conversation we had. Yeah. And I think, you know, communication, right? We us gentlemen, we have to work on that. And I think everybody knows that. And I think, one, we have to be in a safe space. Everybody talks about these safe spaces, but the truth is, you got to be in a safe space to be transparent and not be judged, right? And that's difficult to find sometimes. And thank the Lord, you know what I'm saying, that we have a men's group that we consider the raw men's group, because
Oh yeah.
you can walk in and you be like, what are y'all talking about? Like, it's Jesus somewhere in there.
Yeah.
It's going to be somewhere in there, but you know, I think that communication has, I always say this, you know this, because you've been in this group, what, 5, 6 years?
Somewhere up in there.
Yeah. That, you know, that transparency has, that my growth with Jesus has increased because of the men's group.
Right.
Because I was able to communicate whatever I could communicate, my feelings and stuff like that in that moment, and get some scripture and get some men that may have been there, or once again, like to that generation that didn't say anything.
Right.
If you don't say anything, then no one knows what's really going on.
Yeah.
You don't got to tell the whole tea. You know, you ain't got to spill the whole tea.
Yeah.
But you can let somebody pour a little bit into you. You know,
That's
pour
it.
that water in there, get that sweet tea down.
Yeah.
We in Texas, so we like sweet tea. But yeah, it's yeah, man, that communication, that transparency, especially praying with your wife. Like, I remember that was, my heart would be beating so fast, and I'd almost start stumbling on my words and just like, yeah, you know, and I was in a season where my words were taken very heavy no matter what I was doing, and I was like just trying to work on being a better person, you know, better husband, better son, better father, and all that stuff. And so now being vulnerable and praying was very difficult at first.
Yeah.
And eventually God just put on my heart, it's like, man, shut up and just pray.
Just do it.
Just come talk to me. And if someone's in the room with you, cool.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's your wife, even better.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. It was just yesterday. My youngest daughter, she let me know Thursday that her head was hurting.
Mm-hmm.
Hurt from the time she got home till she went to sleep. She woke up the next morning, Daddy, my head still hurting. I said, all right. She was on her way out of the house to go to school. I hugged her, grabbed my son and hugged him, and we just did a quick prayer.
Yeah.
And the fact that she hugged me tight, pulled me down, and she's the one that's going to take care of me. When the Lord allow me to get old and gray, she's the one that's going to take care of me.
Right.
But she pulled me down and gave me a kiss and said, thank you. She came home so happy.
Yeah.
Said, you had a great day at school. She said, no, not really, but my head stopped hurting. I said, oh, okay. She said, well, we prayed on the way out, so I know that's what did it. And that made me feel good. I was like her. I mean, my day wasn't the best, but well, my daughter's happy that we prayed and her head stopped hurting. Mm-hmm. Hey, we did it.
We'll take that as a successful day.
Yeah, it's a good day. So yeah, man, I just, that communication piece, man, it's just, you assume something or a situation is a certain kind of way, and when you don't verbalize what you're feeling, sometimes I feel like I may feel too much and share too much.
Right.
It's like, okay, how much is enough? But it's still, I still have those old ways in me and try to be quiet and just handle it myself. But then I start to look at those around me, and they're looking at like, Dad, what are you doing? Or my wife, like, baby, come on, talk to us. Right. And that'll be like that self-check. Okay, I go in the room, let me breathe, come back out, Dad's back, that kind of thing. And so it's just, this world beats us up, man, and it's me, and like I said, the narrative is just take it,
right.
Work hard or nobody cares kind of thing. Right. And so being able to have that outlet and that safe space to share and get some, honest feedback, godly feedback, man, it works wonders, because without it, I mean, you have more of what you see out here, in these streets. So
right. So yeah, you mentioned about hard work, and especially once again, kind of the way that we are raised, of course, playing sports and stuff like that. Hard work, always work hard, work. How has your experience growing up, how have you changed that into the way that you raise your family and spend time with your wife, or has that kind of changed? Man, or have you changed that, sorry?
That's really been a revolving door. Growing up, my dad, and he still operates the company to this day, but having his own construction company, I would go out on, in the field with him, with my older brothers and things of that nature. Now, don't let me fool you to make you think that I was out there really working hard or anything like that. I'm picking up, wood and garbage and all of that, keeping the site clean, what have you. But what I did pay attention to was how he ran it. Yeah. The work and the effort that it took to put into something that, I found out later that, that he had been praying for, and he thought that, hey, I have a family, I can't quit my job. There's guaranteed money every week. I can't quit that. And so I didn't find out about that until I was much older, that, he had to step out in faith in that. But with stepping out, I think that the balance of, or, what we call today work-life balance, I don't think that it was there. I think that my dad, before he stepped away from working at the plant, and my dad would probably work 20 hours, and
a day.
Yeah. Whew. And that's plant and construction. Eesh. And so, part of the reason why maybe we didn't hear the I love you, he was too tired, but, but that effort that he put in, that hard work that he put in, that he showed us what it, he gave us that blueprint. He gave us the blueprint of how to make this work. He helped hone a skill in us in by way of construction. Yeah. where, you know, my brothers and myself, that's what we do. We're in construction. And so they're more hands-on, and I took the business aspect of it.
Okay.
And so for the last 5 years, I've owned and operated my own construction company as well. And so when I say a revolving door, as far as work-life balance, man, I get it. I probably get it wrong twice, you know, versus the one time that I do get it right. It's tough, you know, when to shut off, when to keep going, you know, when is enough for the day, and having to realize that email will be there.
Right.
You know, whatever issue you had at the end of the day, it'll be there at the beginning of the next day, and not trying to stay too long to correct whatever. And my wife has had several conversations with me, you know, hey, we understand what you're doing, and, you know, believe me, we're grateful, but the kids still need you here. And again, like I said, I was starting to fall into that same format of what my dad was. Now, if the kids have an event, I'm there.
Right.
I am there.
Right.
I might go to sleep in the back, but I am there. And, you know, there was times where I know before we moved, man, I would be so tired. We would go out to dinner, and I'll put my head down to say grace and go to sleep.
Oh, wow.
So, you know, it's,
wow.
it's, you know, being tired like that, and but just, you know, over time, you have to. There's nothing that you're going to figure out day one.
Right.
It's an ongoing process, but knowing what's the reason why you're out there pushing, you can't forget that. So, you know, you have to be mindful of that, and you have to be intentional. At 5 o'clock, I'm cutting off. I'm turning this phone off, and it is what it is. It'll be there the next day. But, you know, like I said, with what my dad has done over the years, I started to see myself fall into that same pattern.
Yeah.
And come home and sit in the room. And I'll be honest with you, I still do that. But my daughter will come in, I help her with her homework. My son will come in and he'll be my son.
Right.
He's going to do what he do. And, you know, so, but some days are better than others. But man, yeah, you know, I said I try to build a legacy through service.
Ooh.
And that's actually on my website, you know, building a legacy through service. And some days I have a very clear picture of what that is. Some days I'm trying to get it.
Yeah. And
it's tough. It's a battle. I'll be honest, it's a battle.
Man, trying to build a legacy through service. I gotta get that on a shirt. You got it on a shirt? You got an R&A shirt, and got it in the back or like on down the sleeve or so, across the heart.
Yeah, gotta add that.
Man, that's dropping bars, dropping gems. Yeah, I like that. I know that. So we've been talking about generational stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And you said your dad had a construction company. Mm-hmm. You got a construction company. You finally got that little boy.
Yes.
Is that something that you want him to go to, or is that something like what are your thoughts on like passing that legacy of construction to him, or is it more of a looking at his skills, or I don't know quite how to articulate that.
I think at the moment, my daughter Layla, the middle child, she's going to take it.
Okay.
I think she'll take it. She loves to be outside. If I'm working on anything in the house or what have you, if I'm sketching out something, she's right there. Ooh. She is the one. Like I said, my son can care less at the moment.
Right.
But no, it's not necessarily. Well, I don't want to say that right now. It's not that big of a concern.
Okay.
Because I have the mirage of time. I look at it that way. And I think that, my prayer has been, Lord, allow me to just see what my kids become.
Okay.
And in that, if it turns out that he's interested, then I want to be able to show him. I want him to be able to recall in his mind dad in the office working, dad on the phone, dad sending these emails. We're driving to job sites, taking a look. So it'll be familiar to him as well as to my daughters. And, I know you don't see a lot of women, let alone black women in construction that are owners, that are operating and owning things. But that's what makes this sweet. The fact that my middle child is taking a liking of that right now. And she's a little shy, which I tell her, hey, you're gonna have to speak up. You don't have to be as aggressive as dad, but you have to make sure you speak up and make sure you're being heard and what your wishes are, they're being met on that job site. You need to let everyone know what you will tolerate and what you won't, what's acceptable and what's not. So, but as far as my son, I just, right now I'm just trying to focus on allowing him to see what dad looks like. The things that we talk about, whether it's video game, movies, or what have you. I try to keep it light for him. He's 7. I try to keep it light, but at the same time, when he messes up, he says, well, Dad, you seemed a little mean. What do you mean, son? Well, you didn't. Usually we'll be joking around or something of that nature. I said, yeah, but that wasn't a joking matter. And I know you're 7, but I have to train you up in a way that you won't be caught off guard when it's time for you to walk out those doors.
Yes.
It's a different ball game, and you being a black man, it's just different. And so, I don't mean to overreact on certain things, but you have to know, and I need you to know it as soon as possible, that it's different for us. So more so than not, construction, like I said, I have the mirage of time that I'm hopeful as he gets older, maybe there's something there, but right now it's just, I'm letting him be a kid, and and as he makes mistakes, as we all do, I just want to make sure that I'm disciplining him in the correct manner and then explaining why.
Yes, exactly. Give me 1 second. Y'all are too loud! Speaking of discipline, we got a house full of kids. Which is the beauty of it, because, hey, I love it. I want a house full of kids and having fun and enjoying themselves. But, sometimes you gotta use the daddy voice for things.
The look, the deep voice and everything, you have to give it to them. And a lot of times it works.
Yeah.
It don't work on my daughters, but it works with my
you gotta it's a whole different thing. I don't know. I'm learning this because with my stepdaughter, that's the only daughter I have. So I'm still learning that process and stuff. But I'm a teacher, so I get it. I mean, I teach 7th grade, so I understand. But it's different when it's in your house, right?
Yes, it's totally different.
Now, the mirage of time. Man, you're just dropping gems. The mirage of time. Can you expound on that?
Well, what I mean when I say that, I'm just saying the illusion thereof.
Yeah.
We think we have time to do fill in the blank. And I looked at, some things that my dad and we used to talk about. I used to always say, man, I can't wait until I'm 21 or whatever age that may be for you. But for me, I couldn't wait to turn 21 because I got tired of being carded when I was in DC. Here in Texas and Mississippi, no, they just said I look old. But I got carded for everything. And I felt like, man, I can't go out and hang out with, I was there on an internship and I was one of the youngest people there. I think it was maybe 2 other people that I was older than. Yeah. But I was going into my junior year and they were freshmen. Right. And we were only like a year apart in age. So when everybody would go out, just us three would be left at the dorms, couldn't do anything, couldn't go anywhere. And I couldn't wait. I can't wait until I turn 21. I want to be able to do this. I want to be able to do that.
Right.
And I would tell my dad that, and he just enjoy the age that you're at. And that's what he would always say. And hey, maybe he knew something, because it looked like when I turned 21, in a blink of an eye, 31, a sneeze, 41, and it's like, wow. And the time has gone by so fast. Now the difference is, and he explained it to me, he said, well, the difference is time has gone the same speed as it always gone.
Right.
It means more to you now.
Ooh.
You have kids and you're trying to accomplish things, and it just seems like there's not enough time to do it all, and so it seems like it's slipping away. But in fact, it's still going the same, because now I'm listening to my daughter. Oh, when I'm 16, I'm getting ready to get out of school. I'm not necessarily ready for that, but it just seemed like school is taking forever. And I was like, baby, it seemed like y'all just got in school, and now you're on the back end of it. Hey, spring break is around the corner. And so the mirage of time is just the illusion thereof of what you think is there. And at any second, it could be taken away.
Yeah, also the difference, that sneeze at 41 will pop your back out.
Yes.
Oh, I sneezed on my knee. God, I can't walk.
Man, it's real. It is very real, man.
Yeah, I see. When you were talking about that, of being younger and trying to get time, like I want to pull myself toward time. And on the flip end, when you get older, we trying to hold on to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need this time back. Oh man, that's a. I'm gonna have to chop this up and drop some message within the messages. Y'all look forward to that. Yeah, I think, man, you got so much wisdom, Marcus. I appreciate you, bro.
Hey, just living, man.
Yeah.
I think that, if, again, communicating it, if I just sit on it, it doesn't help. And maybe my little words here or there could help inspire somebody, help somebody look at something different. Like I said, with these kids now, Dad, you just don't understand. I'm 14, I'm 15, 16, or like when we taught Bible study with the teenagers, man, you just don't understand, man. I'm in high school. I'm like, yeah, you're right, because I just skipped high school. I didn't go there. I wasn't your age, so it's, but yeah, man, I just try to tell my story and tell what I've been through, and hopefully it helps.
Holy Spirit just hit me when you were talking about that and said, print the book.
Yeah.
So I'm just leaving it at that. Print the book. So, all right. So coming to the end of this. So what would you say would be your message of the moment?
Message of the moment would be to communicate, and like I said, with the mirage of time, communicate to your loved ones, to your friends, to anyone that you come in contact with, your neighbor. Communicate love, just, yes, it's a verb, it's action, it shows action, but don't be afraid to communicate. Tell someone what you're feeling, tell someone that you appreciate them, tell someone that you love them. So many times we wait until someone is on their deathbed or they're gone before we give them their flowers.
Right.
And, I believe that it'll be more impactful for you to do that while they are among the living.
Yeah.
So communicate.
Well, Marcus, I appreciate you. I also love you.
Yes, sir.
And here at the Just a Messenger podcast, once again, we're just trying to spread the message of love, joy, and hope, and peace, and try to change the world one message at a time. And as we vibe out to this moment's message music, just know you can make a difference. You are a difference. All right? So, until next time, Selah.